My name is Lauren Mitchell. I'm 34 years old, born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If I had to sum up my childhood in one word, it would be invisible. From the earliest memories I can recall, my parents, Greg and Diane, were obsessed with my older brother, Aaron. He was the golden child, the one they paraded in front of relatives like a prize trophy. Straight A's, varsity sports, debate team captain, whatever he did, they praised him endlessly. Me? I was the background noise. I'll never forget one birthday when I turned 12. I came home from school, clutching the paper I'd worked so hard on. My teacher had given me the highest grade in the class. I rushed into the kitchen, hoping for a "we're proud of you." But instead, I walked into a living room filled with balloons, for Aaron. He'd scored 20 points at his basketball game, and they had invited neighbors over to celebrate. My birthday. Forgotten. At Christmas, the pattern was the same. Aaron got brand new sneakers, a new phone, even a mountain bike one year. My gift? A sweater 2 sizes too big. They didn't even wrap it properly. And the worst part? When relatives came by, my mom would brag about how Aaron works so hard, Aaron's going places, while I sat quietly on the couch, my name never mentioned. I tried to fight for their attention. I joined school clubs, entered math competitions, and even won. But when I came home with my medal, they barely looked up. "That's nice, honey," my mom would mutter, eyes already shifting back to Aaron. Little by little, I stopped trying. I learned that in their eyes, Aaron would always shine, and I would always fade into the shadows. As I grew older, I thought maybe adulthood would change things. That maybe, finally, they would see me as someone worth their respect. But nothing changed. My parents opened a small retail shop downtown, a boutique with handbags, shoes, and accessories. It was their pride and joy, but truthfully, it was a financial disaster. They were drowning in debt, unable to manage books, and constantly on the verge of shutting down. And who saved them? Not Aaron. Me. At first, it was small. I covered a bill here, a tax payment there. Then it became a monthly ritual. $600 from my paycheck went straight into their failing store. That $600 was everything. I skipped vacations, canceled my gym membership, drove an old car until the wheels rattled, all so I could keep their dream alive. And it wasn't just money. I spent nights after my own exhausting workdays redoing their inventory system, fixing tax errors, calling suppliers to negotiate better terms. I remember one month, I found a mistake that saved them nearly $5,000 in penalties. But instead of saying thank you, my dad said, we knew Aaron's ideas would pay off. Aaron, who hadn't lifted a finger. One night, I confided in my best friend, Kathleen. "I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this," I told her, exhausted. "I feel like I'm pouring my entire life into a black hole." She looked at me and said something I'll never forget, "Lauren, you're not their daughter. You're their safety net." It stung because it was true. But still, I kept going. Because deep down, a part of me still hoped. Hoped that one day, they'd look at me and say, "We're proud of you." That hope finally shattered on their 35th wedding anniversary. The restaurant was glowing with warm lights, glasses clinking, laughter spilling across the long table. All my relatives were there, cousins, uncles, aunts. And at the center, as always, was Aaron. "Tell us about your promotion, Aaron," one cousin beamed. Aaron smirked. "Regional manager now. Big responsibilities." The table applauded. My mom leaned in, glowing. We always knew he had a gift for leadership. My dad raised his glass proudly. I sat there quietly, my food untouched, heart heavy. But for once, I tried to speak. "I've been looking at the store's numbers," I said, voice steady. If you adjust the inventory and renegotiate supplier contracts, you could save thousands each year. The table fell silent. For a second, I thought maybe they'd listen. But then Aaron leaned back, smirking. That's cute. Stick to your spreadsheets, Lauren. I've got real ideas. A few cousins laughed. My mom waved dismissively. Sweetie, let's not bore everyone. Aaron's already planning a big summer sale. My face burned. I wanted to scream. But then my dad stood, glass raised high. His voice cut through the chatter. Honestly, he said, eyes locking on me, we wish Aaron was our only child. The table froze. A fork clattered. Someone gasped. Aaron smirked wider, like he'd just been crowned king. My mom sipped her wine calmly. Every eye turned to me, waiting for me to break. But I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't give them that satisfaction. I pushed my chair back, stood tall, and said, enjoy your night. And I walked out. Each step of my heels echoed like thunder across the restaurant floor. That was the night I finally broke free. That night, I sent one final message in the family group chat. I'm done. No more money. No more help. Good luck. The replies came fast. Mom, Lauren, don't be dramatic. Dad, we'll talk tomorrow. Aaron, running away again. Figures. But I never responded. I blocked them. And without me, their world collapsed. The $600 a month vanished. Bills piled up. Suppliers cut them off. A tax audit slapped them with thousands in penalties. The shop shut down. Their house went into foreclosure. The same relatives who once praised them. They turned their backs. Everyone whispered about how careless Greg and Diane had been, how Aaron's brilliance was a lie. Meanwhile, I thrived. I focused on my career, earned a promotion, traveled for the first time in years, bought a car that actually worked. And for the first time, I lived for myself. Then came the final twist. My grandfather in Florida called. Lauren, he said, I heard what happened. I've changed my will. Your parents and Aaron won't see a dime. Everything goes to you, and to charity. I was speechless. He continued, they don't deserve it. You do. You're the one who sacrificed, who worked, who held this family together. For the first time in my life, I felt seen. Truly seen. Today, my parents and Aaron live in a cramped apartment, still blaming me for their downfall. But I don't feel guilty. They made their choices. I just stopped being their safety net. And honestly, I've never been freer. The 5 lessons I learned. Your worth doesn't depend on family recognition. If people refuse to see your value, it doesn't mean you don't have any. Blind sacrifice only breeds exploitation. The more I gave without boundaries, the more they took me for granted. Boundaries are necessary, even with family. Walking away was painful, but it saved my sanity and my future. The truth always comes out. When I stopped supporting them, everyone saw who had been keeping the store alive all along. Real happiness comes from valuing yourself. The moment I stopped seeking their approval, I found freedom, success, and peace. So here's my question to you. If your parents stood up in front of your entire family and said they wished your sibling was their only child, what would you do?